Hello, Lavelle. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I am fantastic. I'm so happy that you were able to take a few moments to be here with me today. So thank you.
Of course. Thank you.
Yes. Take a moment to introduce yourself to us.
I am Levale Walker. That is my mother. Um, I am a musical theater major at CMU. Um, I'm, there's not a lot to me, but I don't know. I'm very happy to be here. I'll say that.
Well, thank
Yes.
you. And you're being modest is plenty to you, but that's you in a nutshell
Yeah.
at this moment. So,
Yeah.
well, I'm glad you mentioned that too because I wanted to ask you. I've been asking people who've been in their career for a while, what's something they wish they would have known at the beginning of their career. But I would love to know, with you being in school and you're in your junior year, what's something that you wish you would have known at the beginning of your college career?
There's actually something that someone said to me recently, which was kind of helpful. Um, she said that if you're looking for people to give you opportunities, you're going to be looking for a really long time. So
Mm,
you need to sort of make your own opportunities and speak up for yourself and ask to try new things and to make things happen. And
yeah,
that was for something very specific, but I think that it works for college as a whole.
yeah.
And so I take that and I'm gonna apply it for sure.
That's awesome. And not only with college, like life, right? I mean, it's so much, so many times that we do wait. And I just did an interview, I think last week, and someone spoke to that where it's like, don't ever expect someone to just help you or sew into your project or make those create those opportunities for you. You have to be proactive and say, look, this is what I feel I'm worth. This is where I want to go in life, and I'm going to help create those moments for myself. So that's really cool that she told you that.
Yeah, yeah, she's a lovely, lovely, lovely gal.
Oh, oh, you crack me up. So what's something in this life that brings you joy?
Something in this life that brings me joy is, well, I'm just gonna say it. First of all, it's the Real Housewives. That is one thing that brings me joy, and we all know it. We all know that I love it. But another thing is obviously music. I love it a lot, and sort of like that when I was younger, when I had really high moments and really low moments, it was always something that I went back to,
Yeah,
and it helped me in a lot of different situations. So that's something that brings me joy. Obviously, my family and my
yeah,
friends bring me lots and lots of joy.
yeah,
Just having, little moments to share with people. And it's not usually about the big things. It's about the very, very tiny things. I do appreciate those a lot, and having those small, intimate moments that we often take for granted, just like driving in the car. I love driving in the car with you a lot, and just going somewhere. They're always very nice times. So yeah,
yeah. You're a spontaneous, crazy mom, and we just kind of end up going places.
just going places, just going anywhere.
Yes, but
Yes.
one thing that really stuck out to me that you said was being able to share those small moments with people.
Mm-hmm.
That's really profound to me and really big because we do overlook those moments. And I always this is what I always say because I believe that when people pass away or when they're no longer in your life, those are the moments that you remember. Like
Yeah.
those are the moments like you remember small things like I remember years ago a lady went to the church that I grew up in, and her and her husband was married for like 50 something, almost 60 years, like
Good
basically
for
her
them.
whole life. I know, oh my God, their whole life. And I remember talking with her after he passed away, and I'll never forget, she said she missed hearing him snore. And and I just remember that always resonated with me because I mean, we know snoring can be annoying because
Oh
you can't
yeah.
sleep sometimes, but that's the part that she missed about him, and it's a small moment that at the time you hate or you don't care about, you're not paying attention to, but that's the moment
Hmm.
that she that she held on to and missed.
Yeah. And you know, one of my love languages is quality time.
Yeah.
So it's very important to me. But yes.
Yeah. And you're very intentional with that. You make time for people who you want to make time for. And I think that's great. I
Yes.
think it's great. I mean, one thing that I will say that I admire about you, Lavelle, is that you have you really have created your path that you wanted to go on. Because I think about when the school did that article on you and your brothers, because they all were like excuse me, athletes and quote unquote jocks and all this stuff that people label people with. And you chose to do theater. And and I remember people like that encourage them to be in sports, would try to get you to do it. Like,
They
just try.
loved to tell me every single time I saw that man. He said, "You want to play football?" I said, "No," and you know I don't. He loved to ask me about that.
Yes. Yeah. And you know what? I think that's very courageous. Like, people, I think sometimes we overlook that part of us where that strength comes from, because it's really courageous, because it's very easy for a lot of people in families or communities or what have you to just kind of follow the herd and just kind of go along with to go along, and to get along. And you chose something different. And I just always hope you feel like you felt and feel supported in that, because I think that's a beautiful thing. And I really always just admired you for that at a young age, saying, you know what, nope, I want to do this. Nope, I'm doing this. Even with, calling yourself Lavelle, because of course, most people know your name is Varen that I named you with,
Right.
and your brothers have V names as well. And I think a lot of times people would say, the V boys or the Walker boys. And it was almost like you didn't have an identity, because with you being the youngest one, you were just like BJ's younger brother, or that's Von's brother. And it's like, no, wait a minute, I'm a person here.
Yeah. Yeah. And I did always appreciate, I did always feel very supported in that. And like that my family always made sure that I knew that it was okay. And I think sometimes other people outside of that, it was hard to see or even get support from other people outside of that bubble. But it was nice that my family and my brothers specifically always did support me in that.
Yeah. No, it's a beautiful thing. Beautiful thing. So let's see. What's one thing you would tell your younger self? And I know some people, like, because it was one person I spoke with that's sort of around your age, probably a little bit older. And she's like, I don't feel like I can say much because I'm still young. But it's like, you all have still grown in such a beautiful way from 10 years ago or 15 years, whatever, So what's something you would tell your younger self, if you knew it, like then, now? Is it now, then? How does it go? You know what I'm trying to say.
Right, I do. I think that the thing that I would tell my younger self is that wishing, like, it's okay to like wish for things,
Sure.
but all of your problems are never going to go away. And I think that's something that I chased for a long time, was just like that one day when I have no problems and I'm just completely happy in life and I don't have anything to work on. I've completely grown. Excuse me. I've completely grown, and that is not going to come, which has turned into something that I really appreciate. The search for growth and bettering myself has become something that's really important to me. I think that something else that I would tell myself is, actually, I was thinking about this today. I was thinking that I might as well just be myself. Like, I might as well just, because there have been a lot of times where, where it's like, okay, people don't like that I'm doing this, and so I'm going to try and change. But there are elements of myself that I it's just who I am.
They need to be who they.
And
Yeah,
so I've come to terms a little bit more, and I'll still work on that. But like with just being who I am, and I think it's important to care about what other people think to a certain extent.
sure.
But I've still got to be okay with being unliked, and of course I'm still working on that. But that's something that I would get started a lot earlier, probably.
Yeah, yeah. No, I like that, and that freedom to be it's a hard road to get to sometimes, especially if you're not what the norm says you're supposed to be, right? So that's a hard path to go down sometimes. I've always been different, and always just kind of marched to my own tune, and you do try to like still be true to yourself, but not ruffle so many feathers, and it's like, you know what? It's exhausting trying
And
to
it's
be.
also kind of fun to ruffle feathers.
It
Can I
is.
just say that? Just
It's
a
a
little
little,
bit. I know,
it
like
is a little
like
fun
just
to
a little
start
bit.
things.
I have a little bit of fun every once in a while.
Yes, be yourself. And I truly, and I was going to ask you, what's the word of encouragement? But I mean, that's big. Is be who you are, be yourself. Because it's just tired. It's tiring to be something that you're not, and try to fit into. Because everybody has so many different expectations of you. Like,
Mm.
so if you try to adhere to all of those, you'll go mad.
Yes. Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree with that. I think that that's something that I also would say, as a word of encouragement, is just like there's been a lot of struggle with looking for love and acceptance from other people instead of looking at it or looking for it in myself.
Yeah.
And even now, I work on it a lot. But I think that that's something that I would tell people is just like it, people will give you love and they will give you encouragement and they will give you acceptance. But it's most meaningful when it's coming from you.
Yeah.
And when you look at yourself and you can say that I feel really great about who I am.
Yeah.
And that you can say that I love myself. I think that's something. Keep that nugget.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Yes. Love yourself. And people will feel that. People will feel that you love yourself.
That's what they
It,
say.
it is the truth. And they will flock to you. People will be drawn to you because that light will shine in you. And your light shines anyway, of course. And the things that you're touching on is ever present for a lot of us. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of us from day to day, you could feel like you're on top and doing everything perfectly well. And the next day you're like, I'm failing at everything. You know what I mean? So it happens. It
Mm-hmm.
happens. Yeah.
That's true.
Well, yeah, I appreciate you, Lavelle, for taking time today with me. It's really cool because I talk to you guys all the time, of course, my
Mm-hmm.
children, but it is nice to hear, and you share anyway. But I mean, it is nice to hear your perspective because I'm in my 40s and I've been through things differently than you all, in your 20s or people like that's teenagers, and so it's nice to connect with people who are going through a different phase in their life to kind of see how we all worry about these moments in those small moments when really it's like life is so much bigger than that, and we realize that it's like a quick blurb and then we're on to another part of our life. So these are always fun for me.
I had fun.
Thank you so
I had a good
much.
time.
I
Thank
love
you.
you.
Love you
I
too.
love you. Yes, and have a good night.
Thanks. You too.
I'll FaceTime you later.
Oh yeah. Okay. Bye.
Bye.